Welcome to another exciting video full of news about our beloved Arsenal club. If you are passionate about Arsenal and don't want to miss any information, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate notifications to stay updated. Now let's get to the news. 5 Arsenal stars hand Mikel Arteta the break he needed. As international duty takes centre stage, Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta may be one of the few people in football actually welcoming the pause. While most fans dread the early season break, for Arsenal, the timing couldn't be better. Following a frustrating 1-0 loss to Liverpool, a match that reignited criticism over the team's tempo, style of play, and ambition, this 2-week window offers much-needed breathing room. With the transfer window slamming shut shortly after that defeat, attention quickly shifted elsewhere, sparing Arsenal from an extended media frenzy over their performance at Anfield. Now, with the spotlight temporarily elsewhere, Arteta has the rare chance to regroup, reset, and focus on what really matters, getting key players fit and ready for the long season ahead. Despite winning 2 of their first 3 league matches and keeping 2 clean sheets, Arsenal still face lingering questions about their attacking identity. Their growing reliance on set pieces and difficulty in creating clear-cut chances has added fuel to debates around Arteta's seemingly cautious tactics. But all of that takes a back seat, for now. 17 Arsenal players are away on international duty, with 15 expected to feature prominently for their national teams. Back in London, only 7 senior players remain, and 5 of them are currently sidelined with injuries. For Arteta, this break is less about rest and more about recovery. Among those needing time to heal, Christian Nørgaard, who missed the Liverpool match after taking a knock. William Saliba, who was forced off just minutes after warm-ups due to an ankle issue. Bukayo Saka, still nursing a thigh strain. Kai Havertz, recovering from a minor tendon procedure. Gabriel Jesus, still working his way back from a long-term injury. There's hope that Nørgaard and Saka could return after the break, while Saliba's situation remains uncertain after pulling out of the French squad. On the bright side, Martin Ødegaard's minor scare during the Leeds game didn't stop him from making an appearance against Liverpool, a huge relief for fans and staff alike. Of course, there are still logistical headaches. Key players like Gabriel Martinelli, Gabriel Magalhaes, and new signing Piero Hincapié will face long-haul flights back from South America, while the rest of the squad remain in Europe. Managing fitness levels after the break will be crucial. Arsenal's next Premier League match comes against a somewhat unpredictable Nottingham Forest side, a team that has shown moments of promise but has also been rocked by internal instability and a chaotic summer window. While Arteta will have a few tactical issues to sort out before that game, he can at least count on this break as an unexpected blessing. Injuries are never ideal, especially not to key players and especially not so early in the season, but 2 weeks without a competitive club fixture gives Arsenal a golden opportunity. It's time to recharge, reset, and return stronger. And Mikel Arteta knows, this might just be the moment that defines the months ahead. A crucial window for recovery and reflection. While the break brings hope of healing, it also opens the door for deeper reflection within the Arsenal camp. Behind the scenes, Arteta and his staff are likely using this time not only to monitor player fitness but also to reassess tactical approaches that have come under scrutiny. One of the most pressing issues remains the team's over-reliance on set pieces to break down compact defenses. Against top opposition like Liverpool, Arsenal struggled to create chances from open play, with many questioning whether the current system is getting the best out of creative talents like Ødegaard and Martinelli. Even with quality possession and territorial dominance, the Gunners often lacked that final spark in the final third, something that must be addressed if they're to mount a serious title challenge. There's also the ongoing conversation about Kai Havertz, whose role in the squad remains a hot topic among fans and pundits alike. His limited impact so far has raised eyebrows, especially considering his high-profile move from Chelsea and the tactical adjustments Arteta has made to accommodate him. With the German midfielder recovering during this break, it's a perfect moment to recalibrate his integration into the squad, or rethink his role entirely. Meanwhile, Arteta must also prepare for the return of players from international duty, a variable that brings both opportunity and risk. International matches often carry the threat of injuries or fatigue, and Arsenal have seen that firsthand in past seasons. But it also presents a chance for players like Declan Rice, Leandro Trossard, and Takahiro Tomiyasu to gain confidence and rhythm by featuring prominently for their countries. For defenders like Ben White, who was surprisingly left out of the England squad despite consistent performances, this break could be a moment to reset mentally and physically. Similarly, Kepa Arrizabalaga, who has yet to fully claim the No.1 spot, remains at London Coney, a situation that allows more focus work on cohesion with the backline, especially given Aaron Ramsdale's mixed form. The return fixture against Nottingham Forest could serve as a launchpad for a stronger run. Forest themselves are battling internal pressures, with manager Nuno Espirito Santo reportedly under increasing scrutiny following a turbulent transfer window and inconsistent early season results. If there's a time to capitalize, it's now. But Arteta knows that simply relying on players returning from injury won't be enough. This international break must serve as more than a physical reset. It needs to be a strategic reset. Arsenal are at a pivotal crossroads. Either sharpen their attacking identity and prove they can impose their game against top-tier rivals, or risk falling into the same traps that saw them lose momentum in past campaigns. Off the pitch, fan sentiment remains cautiously optimistic. There's belief in the squad's depth, trust in Arteta's long-term vision, and pride in how the club handled the summer transfer window, bringing in both established talent and high-potential youth. However, there's also a growing sense of urgency. This is no longer a rebuilding phase. This is the season where expectations are higher than ever. In the coming weeks, all eyes will be on how Arsenal respond. Can they return from the break reinvigorated, tactically sharper, and more dangerous in front of goal? Or will the same questions continue to linger as the Premier League schedule intensifies? For Mikel Arteta, this pause may feel brief, but the impact it has on Arsenal's trajectory could be lasting. Arsenal may have finally found the answer to a £6 million weakness, thanks to two key signings. Arsenal's squad is, on paper, one of the strongest in the Premier League. There are few glaring weaknesses, and most criticisms tend to focus more on how the team plays than who is playing. Still, that doesn't mean the side is complete. The Gunners' recent 1-0 loss to Liverpool brought some of those tactical concerns back to the surface. While many were puzzled by Mikel Arteta's decision to deploy Mikel Merino as a third central midfielder, especially against a Liverpool side that had been so open in its first two matches, the deeper issue lies in how Arsenal is set up to unlock stubborn defences. And one area of persistent concern has been the left-hand side of the pitch. For months now, questions have swirled around Gabriel Martinelli's form. Once hailed as a breakout star, the Brazilian hasn't looked the same for over 18 months. He's still dangerous, still hard-working, but that edge, that spark, has faded. His performances this season have been cautious, risk-averse. Against Manchester United and Liverpool, he faced backlines that were shaky at best, yet he rarely threatened to tip the balance. It was enough for pundits like Gary Neville to openly question his intent. The reality? It's been 6 years since Arsenal paid £6 million to bring Martinelli from Ituano. He's delivered in flashes, notably with 15 league goals in the 2022-23 season, but those numbers flattered him. His expected goals, XG, figures that year were significantly lower, and regression has followed. Between 6 to 8 goals and a handful of assists per season seems to be his new normal. That's not bad. But it's also not title-winning form. Leandro Trossard, who was handed a new contract to the surprise of many, has been a valuable squad player. Yet like Martinelli, he doesn't quite feel like the solution on the left. And when you're competing for the biggest trophies in football, good enough often isn't. Enter Eberechi Ease. Of all Arsenal's recent moves, bringing in Ease might just be the most significant, even if it's not generating the same headlines as some of the bigger name deals. What sets Ease apart is not just his versatility, but his unpredictability. While Victor Gyökeres and Noni Madueke were brought in to provide rotation options up top and on the right, Ease offers something different: freedom, flair, and fearlessness. Unlike Arsenal's more traditional wide players, Ease isn't bound by the touchline. He cuts inside, drifts between the lines, and thrives in the grey areas where defenders hate to operate. At Crystal Palace under Oliver Glasner, he played more as an inside forward or attacking midfielder, and it's easy to see why England is now considering using him in a similar role in their back three setup. He doesn't just play football, he glides through it. There's a fluidity, a rhythm to his game that's hard to coach. He can beat his man one-on-one, deliver a clever through ball, or take on a long-range strike. And most importantly for Arsenal, he thrives against deep, compact defences, something this team has struggled with for seasons. With Saka and Odegaard both showing signs of burnout at times, and limited rotation options behind them, Ease's arrival could be a game-changer on multiple fronts. He doesn't just replace someone, he adds something the Gunners have lacked: spontaneity, creativity, and a bit of magic. And then there's Noni Madueke. Though primarily seen as cover for Saka, he offers genuine competition on either wing, and will likely push Martinelli for minutes when not deputising on the right. Between him and Ease, Arsenal have suddenly added weapons that allow for tactical flexibility and a shift away from predictability. Of course, this raises the question, is this the beginning of a new chapter for Arsenal's attack, or just the shiny appeal of new signings? That remains to be seen. But what's clear is that Arsenal now has options it didn't before, real, meaningful, high-ceiling options. And in the unforgiving world of title races, depth and dynamism make all the difference. For Mikel Arteta, who has often been accused of overcoaching or playing it safe, these additions give him the tools to be bold, to experiment, to evolve. The left side of the attack has long been a source of inconsistency for Arsenal. With Martinelli struggling to recapture his best form and Trossard offering reliability but not inspiration, the arrival of Ease and the emergence of Madueke might finally provide the solution Arteta has been searching for. And if it works? That £6 million problem from 2019 may soon become nothing more than a footnote in a much bigger, much brighter Arsenal story. Ease's arrival signals a shift, and raises expectations. Eberechi Ease isn't just another squad addition. His presence signals a clear tactical evolution, and a bolder, more creative Arsenal. For a manager like Mikel Arteta, who has often leaned on structure and control, Ease offers a unique challenge, embracing chaos, unpredictability, and individual brilliance. And that's precisely what this Arsenal side has been lacking in high-stakes moments. Supporters, too, have taken notice. The fan base, long split between those who appreciate Arteta's methodical build-up and those who crave more spontaneity, now sees in Ease a possible bridge between both worlds. He can fit the system, yes, but he can also break it when needed. That duality could be the missing ingredient in Arsenal's pursuit of silverware. And it comes at a critical time. The early season results, while not disastrous, have been underwhelming in context. Arsenal's expected goals, XG, from open play in the opening matches, just 0.58 across the 2 away games, highlight a deeper issue. The team is controlling possession but struggling to convert that control into genuine, high-quality chances. With fixtures against Nottingham Forest, Brentford, and Aston Villa looming, Arsenal will need to assert dominance against mid-table sides that are increasingly comfortable sitting deep and hitting on the break. These are the exact kinds of games where players like Ease thrive, breaking down low blocks, drawing fouls in dangerous areas, and shifting the tempo with a single moment of ingenuity. It also puts pressure on existing players to raise their game. Martinelli, for one, finds himself at a crossroads. Once untouchable in Arteta's system, his place in the starting 11 is no longer guaranteed. The Brazilian is said to be frustrated with his form, and while there's no suggestion of discontent at the club, sources close to the player suggest he's aware of the growing scrutiny. Ease's arrival could push Martinelli to rediscover the aggression and confidence that made him a fan favourite, or it could see his role diminished. And then there's the ripple effect on squad dynamics. With Madueke in the mix, and Trossard offering experience and work rate, Arsenal now boasts a far more competitive and versatile attacking group. Arteta can afford to rotate without a significant drop-off in quality, a luxury he hasn't had in past seasons. It also allows for more varied formations, a 4-2-3-1 with Ease behind the striker, or a fluid 4-3-3 with interchanging wingers. But flexibility comes with responsibility. Expectations are now sky-high. With greater depth and quality across the front line, there will be less tolerance for tactical conservatism, particularly in matches where Arsenal are expected to dominate. Arteta will need to prove he can not only build a system but adapt it in real time, based on the personalities and strengths of his evolving squad. From the boardroom to the terraces, the message is clear: this is no longer a team in transition. It's a team that must win. The additions of Ease and Madueke may go down as two of the most important pieces in Arsenal's recent puzzle, not just for what they bring individually, but for what they demand from those around them. If the Gunners can integrate them successfully, and if Martinelli and others respond with renewed intensity, this could be the year Arsenal finally turn promise into proof. And should that happen, fans will look back at the signing of a £6 million teenager from Brazil, and the long road that followed, as the beginning of a story that led, eventually, to glory.